Pranksters, listen up. Welcome to the Beat Cafe. Why beat, you might ask? Well, all this stuff that we're doing, all this prankster stuff that seems to endure for decade after decade, it all began with the Beats, with Jack Kerouac, Neil Cassidy, Allen Ginsberg, William Burroughs, and all their friends, and all their strange, intuitive literary works that endure to this day. In the spirit of that, with the Merry Pranksters beginning in the 60s, and Neil Cassidy joining with Kesey and me and the rest of the pranksters, there was a flow of energy that was continuous, and it continued on year after year as it does to this day.
Oh, man. I think we're going to have some good shows this summer. Okay, so I did this yesterday, and this is the part of some Jack where he really stretches language out there and is what sets him apart from any other novelist, really, and most other writers, period. This was his attempt to sort of at a Finnegan's Wake, where he's working in soundscapes. It's not traditional narrative like the On the Road you just heard. This is a more how your mind really is processing all different thoughts at all the different times. And he was trying to record everything he heard in life. And this part was written when he was on the Lower East Side in Manhattan, and the windows are open and everybody's living close to each other, and there are all these sounds from all these different cultures constantly coming in the window of your life, in your mind. And so Jack tried to capture this stuff and did so pretty brilliantly, and it was, this was also the thing that blew my mind about Kerouac. Like, I'd read the books, but then when I read this stuff and that it was precise what he was doing, this guy's on another level. And this was also, this little part I'm going to read is just 2 minutes from, was on the Jack Kerouac Reads the Beat Generation album. And that was the album Jerry Garcia heard when the light bulb went on for him, for Jack, which I'll just read you that little thing. We did it yesterday, but it's so freaking good. It's a couple of sentences by Jerry. This is what Garcia said about hearing Jack read what I'm about to read you. I recall in 1959, hanging out with a friend who had a Kerouac record, and I remember being impressed. I'd read his stuff, but I hadn't heard it. The cadences, the flow, the kind of endlessness of the prose, the way it just poured off the page. It was really stunning to me. His way of perceiving music, the way he wrote about music and America and the road, the romance of the American highway, it struck me. It struck a primal chord. It felt familiar, something I wanted to join in, but it wasn't a club. It was a way of seeing. It became so much a part of me that it's hard to measure. I can't separate who I am now from what I got from Kerouac. I don't know if I would ever have had the courage or the vision to do something outside with my life, or even suspected the possibilities existed if it weren't for Kerouac opening those doors. Jerry Garcia. So here was one of the pieces that Jerry heard Jack read. 2 minutes of wildness. I'll change one word. Saturday afternoon in the universe. In all directions, in and out. You got your men, women, dogs, children, horses, pones, ticks, perts, parts, pans, pools, palls, pails, proturiances, and petty thieveries that turn into heavenly Buddha. I know, boy, what's I talking about, because I made the world, and when I made it, I no lie, and I had old Angel Midnight for my name, and concocted up a world so nothing you had forever thereafter make believe it's real. But that's all right, because now everything will be all right, and we'll soothe the forever boys and girls, and before we're through, we'll find a name for this golden eternity and tell a story too. But did you ever read a story as vast as this? That begins Saturday afternoon with working men on scaffolds painting white walls in the woods, and ants murleying in little black dens, and microbes warring in your kidneys, and mesorules microbing in the innards of mercury, and microbes dreaming in the ultimate microbehood, which then ultimately outward to the endless vast empty atom, which is this imaginary universe ending nowhere, and never even been born, as Banquet well told when he ferried his mother over the rocks to Twat UT, and people visit his hut to inquire, what other planet features this? And he answers, what other planet? Though the sounds of the entire world are now swimming through this window, from Mrs. McCardiola's Twando and old Pope's home drunk again, and of course you hear the cats wailing in the whale bar, wild bar, wart face, moonlight, midnight, angel dolphine, immensity, visions of the Tathagata's seat of purity and womb, so that here is all this infinite, immaterial, meadow-like golden ash swarming in our enlightened brains, and the silence falling in our endless ear. And still we refuse, naked and blank, to hear what the who, to what you, will say the diamond boat, and Persipine, Recipine, Milltown, Heroine, and fact matches, the silver ages everlasting, swarm swallowing in a simple broom. And at night you raise the square white light from your ghost beneath a root-drinking tree, and coyote won't hear you, but you ward off the inexistency devils just to pass the time away. And meanwhile, it's timeless to the ends of the last light year. Might as well be getting late Saturday afternoon, where we old and come home and after work is done and drink our beer and tweak our children's eyes. Jack. Old Angel Midnight. Oh, I said yesterday, if you look at, where's my, I got it on the road around here somewhere. It's all beat to shit. And as all my Kerouac books are, you know, notes written in them and ragged to hell. But Old Angel Midnight and, what's the other one? Oh, I can't remember now. Anyway, there's two of his books that I keep in pristine condition because they're sacred texts. And this is what, Scripture of the Golden Eternity, that's the other one. Get those books and take good care of them. Okay, we were going to have a musical interlude here, which we have done before.